Now, a lot of people have asked me, well, how much can you make doing what you do? The beautiful thing about entrepreneurship is if you are really good at what you do, there is virtually no limit to the amount that you could make. 2025 is the best year to have a skill, take it to the marketplace, sell it, and make a profit. And I'm gonna show you exactly why by telling you my story, and hopefully there's something in this that excites you, that inspires you, that gets you going. My name is Jordi-Lakeem Foster, and I've been an entrepreneur for the last decade. I started out as a photographer. I work with families, I did baby showers, I've worked with companies like H&M, New York University, the Brooklyn Borough President's Office, and now I've evolved all of those talents and skills into a marketing agency, which we call JFP Studios. I grew up in one of the most beautiful islands in the world called Jamaica. And I was born to two parents that were entrepreneurs themselves. I would say my grandparents were the original entrepreneurs. My grandfather was born in the 1920s and he was a farmer, and he and my grandmother took care of my family, my mother's side of the family. My great-grandparents actually were farmers as well too, because farming, teaching, nursing, and being a doctor were one of the first few careers that you could have in Jamaica. So if I were to describe my occupation today, entrepreneurship is so broad, but what I do on a day-to-day basis is I listen to people. So when people come to me, they typically want to create a brand new campaign for themselves, meaning that they want to promote a product or service, or sometimes themselves. Sometimes they want to update their websites. Sometimes they want to create beautiful brochures. Sometimes they want to preserve memories with their families. Before I get to that point, I typically sit with them, have a talk. Consultation is what I call it. And we go back and forth. I listen to them, I ask questions, and we come up with a game plan. And that game plan is typically geared towards helping them achieve their goal. Now, as my career evolved, I first started out doing what we call social photography. And social photography means that we worked with like the everyday person. So we work with a family or a mom that is about to have a baby, somebody that's gonna have a birthday, or we did bridal showers or weddings. And over time, as that evolved, we started working with companies. So one of my favorite projects that I worked on this year was a project with H&M. They flew me out to Las Vegas. They covered the flight. They covered the hotel. When I got into the hotel, they had my name on the TV. They had a J on the pillow, even though I don't think that the J was on the pillow for me, but it was a J nonetheless. And they, I was there to take pictures because they had a conference in a store. They brought all of their store managers from all over the world. It was like over 600 people, and just 3 days of nonstop, hey guys, this is the vision for the future. And I was there to capture every single moment of that. When I was a kid though, I'll be very honest, I wanted to be a doctor. And I think that most people who come from the Caribbean, the common path that we're taught is that you have to become a doctor, a lawyer, or engineer. Sometimes, if you're lucky, maybe a nurse. And I convinced myself as a child that I wanted to become a doctor. But as early as 11 years old, I found myself selling phone cards to people, doing jailbreaking services, and I did those things and I made a little bit of extra money on the side so I could buy some extra clothes, go out with my friends, and have a little bit of extra fun. I found also that when I came here to the United States with my family in December 17, 2012, I volunteered at the Brooklyn Public Library. I worked as a secretary in a pest control office. When I learned that they had a sign on the back of the bottle that you could make 20 cents per bottle, I started writing out, well, how much would I make if I gave 100 bottles, 1,000 bottles, etc. I get up at 5 a.m., go down to Boys and Girls School, and go back all the way down to East Flatbush and have my bag of bottles, put them in my uncle's garage, because I just wanted to make money. And I think that is why I love entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship, regardless of whatever you do, if you have a skill and if you could communicate the value of your skill, you could use that talent to make money. And it's one of the most beautiful things, especially in this country, America, because not many countries in the world offer us that opportunity. Things just aren't as good as we have it here. So on a day-to-day, my job includes a few things. One, I break my day into three pieces. The first part is attraction time. So that's the time of the day that I use to put out marketing material to get new clients. I write an email newsletter, one to about 3 to 5 times a week. I post content on Instagram, LinkedIn. I message people, direct message to let them know about what I do. I follow up with people. Then that brings me to the second part of my day. So that's the attraction part of my day. The second part of my day is the maintenance, right? So any existing clients that I have, I'm trying to maintain those relationships. I may send a gift. I may do a follow-up call. I may send somebody a text, send somebody an email, check in with them and the like. And then the third part of my day is actually doing the work. Now, doing the work comes in a few different ways, because I started out doing photography, but as I evolved over the last decade, I was able to start having a team. The first person that I hired was an editor. So they edited my photos, which means that I didn't have to do it all. That freed me up so that I could now become more of a manager in the sense. So when I'm not working on photography projects, I may be working on a website for somebody. I may be working with my team to design a logo, or I may be coming up with a plan to help my clients get more clients through something that we call lead generation. The most important skills in my profession, one of them is writing. Very, very important skill to have. Two is the ability to sell, and I'll explain what that means. And then three is the actual skill of planning. Writing is important because writing challenges you to structure your thoughts, put them down on a plain piece of paper, and communicate them very clearly. The second part, you have to be able to sell. Now, whether or not you realize it, you're selling yourself every day. If you go up to class and you come in like this and you're like, hey, my name is Jordi, I'm nice to meet you, you're selling yourself as a shy person. If you come into class and you're like, hey, everybody, my name is Jordi, and your energy's high, you're selling yourself as a confident person. If you come in and you're like, hey, my name is Jordi, nice to meet you, you're communicating yourself as, you're selling yourself as a neutral person. And whether or not you're realizing it, you are selling yourself every single day to your friends, to your family, to your teachers, to your guidance counselors, to everybody. And it took me a very long time to realize that, but if you have those three skills and then the ability to listen, listening really means I'm taking the time out to really pay attention to what it is that you need. And I think no matter what you do, whether you're selling yourself to your boss through your resume, or you are selling yourself, in my case, to your client, you have to be able to let them know who you are, what you do, and what you stand on. Those three skills, I would say, are really important. Now, if you're going to be a great photographer, you have to know lighting. You have to know composition, making stuff look neat and straight. You have to understand the ability to pose somebody, to be able to tell a story. If you're going to advance that and go into marketing like I did, you have to understand how to manage a project. Now, a lot of people have asked me, well, how much can you make doing what you do? The beautiful thing about entrepreneurship is if you are really good at what you do, there is virtually no limit to the amount that you could make. And the reason is, and you could Google it, don't take my word for it, is that you can take your skill, and if you are able to sell it time and time and time again, you'll be able to make more money. Salespeople are one of the few professions in the world where you can make more money even than the person that you work for. And that is because sales, you make commission. So if I take this iPhone and I sell it, let's say for like $1,000, right? I get 10 to 20% off of that sale. If I take this mouse and I sell this mouse, I can get a percentage off of selling this mouse. And guess what? How many mouses can I sell? Unlimited. How many iPhones can I sell? As many as people are willing to buy. And that's the beautiful thing about being able to sell. If you can sell anything, you can make as much money as you're willing to put in work. So the average marketing manager in the United States, the median income is upwards of $150,000 per year plus. Now, does everybody make that? No. Can you make it if you try hard enough and you learn the skills? What I want to say is that in entrepreneurship, there's a growth curve. So you have to learn your skills, get better at them, and then over time, as you keep investing in your skills, your level of communication, your level of actually doing the thing and working with people, your ability to make money grows. And if there's any piece of advice that I would give to you if you're in school right now trying to figure out what it is that you like, the truth is you won't know what you like until you try. Fortunately, I was in a position where I was open to try many different things, and I tried everything. I was in the chess club. I used to do taekwondo. I couldn't play football, with your feet because I had asthma. I was a volunteer at the Brooklyn Public Library. I worked at the Museum of Jewish Heritage. I was a secretary in a pest control agency, picked up bottles. I worked in my school's coat check room. I was a research assistant. I did internships. I did so many things because truly the only way for you to know what you like is if you taste as many things as possible. And if there's anything that I would say to you that I wish I knew when I was younger was the best time to take as much risk as you can is when you don't have a lot of responsibility. Because when you have kids, the amount of time that you have for yourself gets cut in half. So if you are able from now up until the time where you're about like 25, even up to 30 years old, take as much risk as possible. Try things, not just doing it half-heartedly, but try it. Like give it your best shot. And if you do it for 3-6 months and you realize it doesn't work, the most powerful thing that you could do is to change your mind. And I wish I leaned more. Now, I did change my mind, but I wish I leaned into that power more. But after you've picked something, the other part that I want to emphasize is that you have to commit. Because no matter what you do, there's going to be challenges with it. I love photography, but taking pictures is one part of the job. I have to communicate with people, call them, follow up, get rejected every single day, and it hurts because it makes me drag my feet, and I'm like, why do I have to do this? But consistency is going to be your superpower. So that's what I have for you today, guys. I hope that this video was truly helpful. Let me know what you think about it. And I hope that the message was relevant to you where you are in your journey right now. And again, my name is Jordi-Lakeem Foster, the $1 Million Photographer. And thank you guys for watching. Peace.